stock imploded yesterday after Novo Nordisk announced that it terminated their collaboration with them. So that what happened yesterday to Hims stock that's happened several times. Hims has a beta of like 20, so anytime the market moves one way or the other, it does like 20x whatever's happening in the general market. It's a little bit of an over exaggeration, but that's what it feels like. So if you're a Hims investor, you really build up like this really strong psychological tolerance to massive moves in the stock price. And as Hims continues to perform, you're kind of like, well, the company keeps performing. Yeah, sure, it has these crazy swings in stock price, but that's mainly due to news. It's definitely a momentum stock too. So if there's negative news, it moves down a lot. If there's very good positive news, it moves up a lot. So that's why the stock went down yesterday. I think we're sitting at around 43 today, over 30% down from $64 last Friday. That is quite the move. And so let's read into what Novo Nordisk said. So let's see here. Novo Nordisk is firm on our position in protecting patients living with obesity. When patients are prescribed semaglutide treatments by their licensed healthcare professional or telehealth provider, they are entitled to receive authentic, FDA-approved and regulated Wegovy, said Dave Moore, Executive Vice President, U.S. Operations of Novo Nordisk, Inc. We will work with telehealth companies to provide direct access to Wegovy and share our commitment to patient safety. And when companies engage in illegal sham compounding that jeopardize the health of Americans, we will continue to take action. So you can see here, this is basically a reversal of the original deal that Hims and Novo had. The CEO that made that deal with Andrew and the Hims team is no longer with Novo. So Novo seems to be going in a different direction. Maybe their board of directors, as well as maybe they already picked their incoming CEO and maybe he has a preference for what they do. So they're going in a different direction here. And they are throwing out some pretty big accusations. I think only time will tell, like, if these things are true. I would say, from my perspective, when I read this article, it appears like Novo is just channeling their inner mainstream media, Bloomberg, New York Times, and they're just throwing out slanderous claims that don't have any backing. Now, I'm not saying that this is bullish for Hims, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is not good for Novo. This is not good for Hims, but it's also short term. I don't think either company wants to be involved with a lawsuit. That's not good for the stock price of either and the shareholders of either company. However, when you sit and just think about this for a while, like why is Novo resorting to just making these slanderous claims in a news article? Why not go ahead and just sue Hims? I imagine they would have just done that instead if they were going to do it. And maybe they will. That's possible. However, let's look from the opposite side. Andrew Dudum posted yesterday in response to the Novo Nordisk slanderous claims. He said, "We are disappointed to see Novo Nordisk management misleading the public. In recent weeks, Novo Nordisk's commercial team increasingly pressured us to control clinical standards and steer patients to Wegovy regardless of whether it was clinically best for patients. We refuse to be strong-armed by any pharmaceutical company's anti-competitive demands that infringe on the independent decision-making of providers and limit patient choice. We take our role of protecting the ability of providers and patients to control individual treatment decisions extremely seriously and will not compromise the integrity of our platform to appease a third party or preserve a collaboration. The health and wellness of individuals always comes first. We will continue to offer access to a range of treatments, including Wegovy, to ensure providers can serve the individual needs of patients." So, coming, slapping back a little bit at Novo, but in a very controlled manner. Andrew's saying that they're not doing anything wrong, and that in fact Novo is the one maybe doing some unethical things, trying to push Hims in a certain direction to sell their Wegovy products and not just offer whatever else they have. So I think there's two sides to every story. I personally, as a Hims shareholder, I'm biased for sure, and I think this is a strong message from Andrew. It's good leadership, admirable leadership, and I've seen people say, "Oh, well, it's like very lawyery." Well, sure, these people at Hims are smart. Andrew's very smart. They're not going to just put out a statement that could cause additional legal risk. So they struck a chord between, a very strong statement about patients and providers in the range of legal liability. So it's a pretty real statement that is also considering legal implications of whatever he says. So I like what he says here. Again, it's hard to know who's in the right, but based on some of the 503 practices, it seems like I'm not sure if Novo has any legs to stand on here. Again, it really, you will have to wait and see over the coming weeks. Personally, there are two wolves inside me. There's the cold-blooded, ruthless, performance-oriented, dispassionate investor. I just want results. I want good quarters. I want long-term prosperity for the companies I invest in, good fundamentals, qualitative as well as just raw numbers. But the other side of me, the other wolf, is someone who has dealt with various health issues over the last 4 or 5 years. My doctors were not able to help me resolve or help in any capacity, and Big Pharma was not able to help in any capacity. The only company that was able to help me was a company called Function Health, who helped me take control of my own health by giving me all the biomarkers I need and all the personalized diet and exercise regimens that could fit based on my biomarker testing, to let me kind of take control and exercise agency over my health. And that has greatly improved a lot of the heart as well as sleeping issues I was having. So this other side of me, I would love to see him break Big Pharma and Novo in half. Okay, so there's two sides to this, and I think it's important to internalize both and recognize both. But anyways, it's going to be interesting. I think unless we see more negative news for Hims, the stock will probably consolidate here, maybe stay here for a little bit. And, since it's a momentum news stock, narrative stock, you probably won't see movement until we hear more news, or maybe until earnings, Q2 earnings. But, whenever the news comes out, positive or negative, the stock will move up or down in that manner. So for now, I honestly, what I did yesterday, I had some cash on the sideline. Honestly didn't think I was going to be buying anything for a while. But when, one of my favorite stocks that I have researched endlessly goes down over 30%, to me, that's a buying opportunity, because I already thought people think I'm crazy for saying this, that the stock is undervalued at $64. Well, I thought it was. So to me, the stock was undervalued at $64. I wasn't buying it, but it dropped 30%. Well, for sure, 48 PE forward P. Yeah, I'll buy that at 85% revenue growth. Okay, yes, I will definitely buy 250 more shares. And I'm not telling you should go buy him stock, by the way. You probably shouldn't. You should probably go do some research, determine if it's good for you or not. Um, anyways, that's what I did, and I wanted to bring an update to you on HIMS because yesterday was explosive. There really is no greater show than the stock market. It's the greatest show on earth, especially stocks like HIMS. So have a great day, and I'll be back soon.